What up, agents? Prime here. Yes, skill builds are still king in the game. Are you ready? Let's go! What up, guys? Welcome to another Division 2 video. Thanks for clicking my content. Really appreciate you watching it. If you like my content, don't forget to smash that like button. And today I'm gonna show you my crit DPS skill build. This skill build, guys, is a lot of fun to play with. And in my opinion, at this moment, the best build to handle for every difficulty. And guys, you probably all know this, but the crit skill builds or the skill builds are still the way to go. But let's dive into some gameplay. And yes, guys, this build, man, 6 scores yellow and still doing a lot of damage with our guns. Handling an assault rifle as my primary and secondary, of course, rocking that harmony, putting out that extra damage with that perfectly in sync. And this combination of talents, guys, is not only giving you a lot of skill damage, but also giving you a decent amount of power with your primary or secondary gun. Still doing a lot of damage with both. And this is the build that I made, of course, the perfect teamwork between you and your skills. Not sitting in the corner, waiting until your skills have done the job for you. No, this is teamwork. Teamwork between you and your skills. You need to shoot and your skills need to shoot. You will do a lot of damage and take down those legendary floors of the summit, or of course get the whole summit cleared on legendary. This is the build to go, guys. And why are the skill builds or the crit skill builds still king in the game? Because in PvE we can create a barrier between us and the enemies. Especially in the summit on the higher floors, those biggies with those backpacks will aggro your skills. So that is one less worry for you. You can create a distance between you and your own skills, and then of course the enemies, and you can take out enemies at a distance. Shooting with your gun, shooting with your skills, taking out everyone. Yes, guys, you can use this all the way up to that 100th floor. Maybe change a few things when fighting the hunters, but this is the go-to build, guys. But enough gameplay, let's see what I cooked up. And this is the build, guys. Yes, this is the crit DPS skill build that we use to clear the summit. We can use it now and you can use it within the update as well, because then we can just do whatever we like, of course. But we use in a team, we use this. So we can lower our critical hit chance a little bit less than when you are playing solo, of course, because at least 2 of us or probably 3 of us are running this build. So we got 3 Coyotes masks, or at least 2. And then next to that we got our future initiative healer, boosting our health up and of course getting a little bit more damage output. So let's start with the guns. As you can see, every gun has in sync on there. I'm usually loving to shoot with my M4. I got in sync rolled on there because this is just the best, and especially if you want to hit hard with your gun and with your skills, boosting up your skills and your gun by that 30%, because most of the times we are damaging with our skills and with our gun. Of course, that police M4, you know it already now, almost maxed out, only that health damage 0.5% away from the cap. And then I went for the harmony, my secondary, of course, with a perfectly in sync on there. Could be a little bit better roll, but it's decent enough. And yeah, again, this will give us that 40% extra weapon damage and skill damage, of course. But still, I'm shooting more with my M4 than I shoot with my Harmony, but of course your bullets run out in the summit, so you need to switch up guns. And then of course, if all your bullets are empty, I'm just using the TDR guide, especially for that in sync on there, rolled it on there. It has a pretty high pistol damage, and of course getting that one extra skill tier doesn't do anything for me on this build, because when I'm handling, I'm getting 7 skill tiers. That doesn't do anything. Would love to see that giving me an overcharge, but yeah, I'm just using this for that in sync. And then over to the rest of my build, 3 pieces of Hanyu, 1 piece of Wyvern. I switched a little bit with the knee pads from Overlord. As you can see, I rolled that skill tier over there, and then of course with the Coyote's Mask. Coyote's Mask almost god rolled, 0.3% away from the cap at everything, even at his mod. And then of course do it for Pack Instincts. And yeah, we all know this talent. Everybody in the team can use this, so if you run 3 of those masks, you probably have all 3 procs active all the time. So basically you will have 35% critical hit chance and critical hit damage up on your own. So that's why we can keep our critical hit chance a little bit lower to boost our critical hit damage up, or of course our skill damage. So let's head over to why Hanyu. Of course, skill haste, skill damage, and that 5% weapon damage, because we want to put out weapon damage as well. This is not a skill build that you are sitting in the corner and just waiting until your skills finish the job. No, this is a team effort between you and your skills. So that's why I chose for Hanyu the 3 pieces. This has of course that skill tier as a core attribute. All the Hanyu will have that. And I got critical hit damage, skill damage on there, and then the mod of critical hit damage 12%, and I rolled spotter on there. Yes guys, I still went for spotter. I know yesterday in the 7th episode of What Hits Harder, I showed you what the best talent is to go for a skill build. So I compared spotter, kinetic momentum, and glass cannon. And kinetic momentum was the best way to go. But then we're talking about a skill build. I'm still wanting to do some damage with my gun. And if I change this to kinetic momentum, of course my skills will do a little bit more damage, around that 10, 12 or maybe 15k more. But if I switch this, my gun will hit for like 40k less bullet. And that's a lot more damage output than that 10 or 12k that you get from your skills. So that's why I went for spotter. In my opinion, the best way to go for a crit skill build. Of course you can go for glass cannon, but it's a little bit tricky in the summit in my opinion. I still like to move a little bit. I'm not only sitting in the back waiting till they charge me, or of course aggroing my skills, but I like to move within the summit as well. So that glass cannon is very, very dangerous, especially with the grenade launchers. They just one tap you from everywhere. Those spawns from those grenade launchers are insane. If you get hit or even in the circle next to you, you will get taken out with glass cannon or even perfectly glass cannon. So that's why I chose for spotter. Over to my holster, exactly the same, just skill damage and critical hit damage rolled on there. And my backpack I chose for Hanyu because it has the perfect combined arms. Shooting an enemy increases total skill damage by 30% for 3 seconds. So we're already shooting every enemy we see. We are aiming our skills at them, or we are shooting at them ourselves. And keep in mind guys, you do not have to shoot the same enemy. So if your skills are aggroing different enemies, you do not have to shoot those enemies as well. No, you can just take out your own target. Every proc will work with this as well. You do not have to aggro the same enemy as your skills. And then of course I went for critical hit chance and then skill damage up on there and some critical hit damage mod. Over to the Wyvern. Why Wyvern? Skill damage. And then of course skill damage and critical hit chance up on there. And then there it is. my Overlord knee pads. Yes guys, still wanted to put out a lot damage with my gun, so I chose for damage to target out of cover. As we know, one of the best attributes to go with on your gear and or on your guns, of course. And then I got it with 7.3% skill damage. Would love to see it a little bit higher, but this gave me the opportunity to roll that weapon core away from some skill tier, so I will still have that 6 core skill tier, because of course my specialization, the technician, will give me 1 skill tier. So that's why we can rock 1 red and 5 yellows, still giving us that 6 core yellows. Over to my skills and why the drone and then the turret. In my opinion, these are the best choices. You want to do a lot of damage, your drone comes back pretty quick, and your turret will always be there. So let's start with the turret at 6 skill tier, of course, having a 5.5 million HP and a damage of 110. And this is just, of course, the base damage. This will do a lot more when we shoot our in sync, and of course our combined arms is procced. So this is just the base damage of my turret. And then of course over to my drone, almost doing 69k base damage, duration of 231 seconds, cooldown of 21 seconds, around that 21 seconds, but got a health of 2.8 million. And again, this is just the base damage without that combined arms and without that in sync proccing. And of course, spotter. Don't forget spotter. When we spot enemies, you will get an extra weapon damage and skill damage. Yeah, just like everybody knows. So yeah guys, this is pretty much my build. Let's head over to the stats. Not that great or not that important. As you can see, I went for almost 40% critical hit chance, because if I'm shooting by myself, I will most likely have that 10% critical hit damage and 10% critical hit chance, giving me almost 50% critical hit chance. And on this build I can live with that. But just like I said, we have multiple Coyote's masks running, so we will have that 35% critical hit chance and 35% critical damage up on my own stats or our own stats. So that will bring us up way above the cap of 60. But yeah guys, that's pretty much it for my crit DPS skill build. I'm loving to play with this build, especially within the summit, but we can use this build all over the game. This is, at this moment, I think the best build to have, or especially one of the builds that you need in your arsenal. But for today guys, let me know what you think about this build. Probably using this for a while now, but you can also use this within the summit guys. Easy claps. Let me know. But for today, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to smash that like button and hit that subscribers button. And of course a notification bell. PurePrime out.